Okay, another one. I'll share screen and record as well. Share screen. Hi, Talia, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. So I will get this on the road, hopefully. All right. Hold on a minute. Well, I'll just stop it a minute. Well, just stop share. I'll mute everyone. Just means you don't get any. Everybody can hear clearly. So anybody wants to put in the chat any questions, just let me know. I'll answer them as I go along. Yeah. I always love it when things don't go well. Okay, there we go. All right. Everybody see that? Good. Mary's coming. It's good. Okay, Selena, it's good. All right. I'll make a start. See how we go. Well, welcome everyone. Today's webinar take about 45 minutes, and hopefully you get value from today. So it's a very important. I think it's really important on sales. Basically, the rubber meets the road when you're actually asking people to buy your product or service. And it's something, a lot of coaches have problems with. And when actually they get resistance to the sale in terms of is it when really things fall apart. So hopefully today, I'll show you some techniques in terms of how you can deal with objections, because you're going to get objections when you get onto calls. And actually, I'm showing you a process in terms of how you can deal with any objection. So I think it's going to be valuable for you today. Right. So what will you learn on this webinar? Something about sales psychology and some sales facts, which might blow your mind. And the 4 types of objections you will encounter, basically they come down to these 4 core objections. Actually, you could probably put it into 3, but I'll put 4 types. Some typical objections and how to overcome them. And a 6-step process to overcome any objection. And I'll have a special offer at the end in terms of people that are on the call and who are watching this live on Facebook in terms of my Facebook group. I'll go through that at the end. So just for those who don't know me, I know Nadette is new. Know some people new on the call. So I started high ticket sales and marketing about 4 years ago, did high figures in affiliate marketing using paid and organic traffic. Pivoted to purely an organic marketing on Facebook 2 years ago. Now I provide sort of one-to-one and group business coaching in organic marketing. So that's just a short synopsis of where I am. And this just start with kind of Grant Cardone, kind of one of my early people I kind of learned a lot from in terms of listening his podcasts and reading his books. I just came across this the other day and I thought this is kind of very apt. Take full responsibility for everything in your life. Basically, that's something I didn't do. I was looking kind of for when things didn't go right or didn't go wrong. I was always kind of blaming something else, and it all came back to me. I wasn't taking, I was trying playing a victim or something wasn't right and blaming some other people, blaming this, blaming that, and I was keeping me stuck, frankly. So I needed to take full responsibility for everything in my life and stroke business. Because you can't really separate kind of life and business. It kind of, if you're all in this game, it sort of meshes both. So thought that from Grant was really very apt in terms of sales, given kind of Grant's probably one of the #1 sales guys in the world. Right, bit on sales psychology. So sales is not about selling, kind of is it guiding your customer to what is best for them. So it's actually you are the conduit, you are the transformation for them, you're the bridge from that new reality. If you're clear in terms of what your offer is, and where they're starting and where they want to be, sales is actually just guiding your customer to where they make an informed decision that your solution is best for them effectively. And you're the bridge from where they are now to where they want to be. So again, that bridge analogy. And you need to be 100% belief in your product or service. I can't overstate this. A lot of people come into this business and they're not actually clear. They're not actually clear they can get the result for their client. They're putting it out there and then they're maybe just hoping they're going to get the result. You have to believe that your product or service is, going to deliver the goods. People don't wake up in the morning and want a coach. They wake up in the morning with a problem they need solved, and you are the solution to that problem. Keep on kind of coming back to that. You don't have to be an expert. You just need to solve people's problems. Does that all make sense? Very quiet in the chat. Okay, must make sense. And also another one is follow the 90-10 rule in everything. So 90% when you're talking to someone and presenting your offer, it should be them talking, not you talking. You want to they want to feel empowered that they're making an empowered decision. So 90% should be talking and 10% should be what you should be talking. And then 90% of what you're talking about needs to be questions. Through questions, you're going to demonstrate your authority because you're asking the right questions. And then 90% of the conversation needs to be about your product and service. Don't get stuck in the friend zone, or don't talk about kind of, how their children is going. When you're presenting on a sales call, you're there to talk about how you can help them through your product or service. Does that make sense? Again, nothing in the chat. Okay. All right. Yes. Thanks, Ronnie. Next. Sales facts. So most sales are lost in the first 5 minutes. So when people get onto your call, and there's really 3 things about getting onto a sales call. Basically, confidence, trust, energy. So if those are off, if people, you could very well lose a sale in the first 5 minutes. The energy is not right, the confidence isn't there, the belief isn't there, that, and it can go very wrong in 5 minutes. You're not actually framing the call. Maybe they don't even know it's a sales call. You're actually saying, you're getting stuck kind of just talking without any, and it meanders through, and then you get to some at the end of it, oh, by the way, I've got this. You don't want to be that type of person. So you want to have the right framing in terms of when you're getting on a call, they know exactly it. So again, a lot of people in this lose sales because they're not actually have any structure to the call. Most people are trained to say no. So this is deep psychology in terms of people who come when we childhood, we're always saying no to things. We kind of know first and then maybe say yes. So be aware that most people are not going to buy on the first occasion. I was reading just actually this book here. If anybody wants a book about selling, get this book here. Sell Like Crazy. It's Sabri Subi's book. It's everything you want to know about sales, and it's a really good book. It's basically 3% are ready to buy now, only 3%. So everybody online is a lot of people are targeting that 3%. But majority, the 97% are trained to say no. They're in the no camp. So it's where do you go from a no to yes? So just be aware. Most people are trained to say no to start with. Most people say too much and start talking over your prospect. I used to do this when I first got on. I think I had to prove myself, and I would sort of start talking and I'd try and demonstrate that I knew my stuff. That goes back to the 90-10 rule. By the time people are getting on your call and you're demonstrating your authority through your presentation, you should be asking questions to your prospect about, where they are, and how this might work for them. So don't talk over people is the worst way of actually presenting a sale. And then lastly, most people don't say, do you want to buy? It amazes me, you get on call and maybe the call you're getting on well, but you forget do you want this? Do you want to buy this? Actually say those words. Do you want to buy this product or service? Does that make sense? Yeah, fear guides us. Yeah, doesn't it? Answering questions. Good. So what do they do when they say no? So this is all great, well, but say no. Now, as I say, most people are trained to say no first. So no could be not yet. I always say no is not yet. These are sort of multiple touch points you're having with your client. So that's why I always believe in following up with people. Like, don't lose your contact. I always capture details of your contact so you can follow up with your contact. So, but what happens if you say no on a call? So basically comes into 4 main objections. Time. I don't have time for this. That's money. I can't afford this right now, which really means I don't think it's worth it. So, but a decision maker. This is always, I always love this one. I need to talk to my partner. So they're using maybe a decision maker is not on the call. And trust. They don't trust you or themselves. Basically, there's something about your services. They don't feel they can get the result, and they don't trust they can get that from you, or they don't trust themselves actually to do the work to get the result. So basically, there's 4 main objections. And I'll go into maybe some way of how you can overcome these objections, because most of these objections, if you've done your work in terms of you're talking to your client, your content, you have touch points for content, you're doing maybe events, you're demonstrating your authority, and you're still getting these type of objections. This is just the resistance they're feeling in terms of making a decision. People are uncomfortable going outside their comfort zone. You're making them uncomfortable by asking them to buy your thing because they're taking a risk. People don't like to take risks. So these are normal objections you're going to get So, oh yeah, so, okay, it's all right. Okay, objection. I'm not really sure this will work for me. So this is the class. Yeah, this is sort of the mind kind of doing your presentation, kind of that, and then the mindset. I'm not really, so most people, when they come across objection, why do you think it won't work for you? So this is the wrong way of going, because that stacks the negative and hard to get the sale. So people kind of, they'll go internal dialogue. If you ask kind of why do you get that? Well, they say, well, I don't, might be other objections coming up. I don't have the time. I have all of these commitments. I don't think, I don't think I can, do the work with my current job commitments. You're getting to this spiral of negativity, and it's hard to dig yourself out of that when you're actually giving, if you come across that type of objection. A better response is kind of flipping that in terms of from a negative to a positive. But if you were sure, why would you be sure? But if you're sure, but if you actually were sure, well, why would you be sure? So you're flipping that to be that positive, to throwing the question back at them. Everybody see that? Can we use another word rather than buy? Invest is probably another word. Probably especially in the coaching space. If you invest is more, it's internal, your ownership. If you invest, you're investing in yourself. You're investing in your future. You're investing. So if you're not comfortable with buy, I would say invest. Okay, next one. Objection most common. I don't have the time. Very common objection. Most people, why don't you have the time? Again, and then you'll get this sort of, well, I'm picking up the kids. I've got my job, and then you're stacking more time objections. So you don't want to be going down that rabbit hole. Better response is what's your plan to make the time? So if you've done your work in terms of they see the value of it and say, well, the time's a problem. Well, let's look at kind of how we can make a plan to make the time for you, that you can get that time back for yourself so you can invest and get that result I know you want. So again, flipping into the positive rather than negative. Does that make sense? Next. I don't know why I put this in. Objection, I don't know, stupid question. If you're getting I don't knows on your call, then it's not the right probably prospect to start with, because they should be at the touch point with your content, maybe your events you're running, maybe the conversations you've been having before you get onto the call. And if they don't know, it's probably they've got through the net of that. But even if if you asking kind of why don't you know, it's again, we're into that rabbit hole of negativity again, and you're sort of, well, so the better response, if you do get that, is, but if you didn't know, what would you say? Again, putting it on them in terms of to make them think about kind of, well, what if you didn't know, what would you say about that? But again, I don't know is a really stupid question. And if you're getting people on calls with that sort of thing, I wouldn't personally. I probably, I don't think they're the right fit for your services. Objection, probably number one objection, especially in these challenging economic times we live in, is I don't have the money right now. So I'm sure many people have had that on any sales calls they've had. They don't have the money right now. I'm sure everybody there should be hands raised from everybody on that one, because I've had it every time. Most people, why don't you have the money? So again, we're getting in, well, I've got the mortgage to pay, I've got this loan to pay, kind of got the kids, all of their equipment for the school to pay, so again, you're getting into negativity. So that's a very hard to get back from that if you're kind of going down that rabbit hole of negativity. Better response, great. So what's your plan to get it in the next 24 hours? That takes a lot of confidence to actually say that in terms of kind of, what's your plan to kind of get the money in terms of getting, I know we talked about that. I know this is what you want in terms of a service. So what's your plan to get it in the next 24 hours? Because maybe you have an offer in terms of you've done your presentation, there's an offer and you're getting that, well, what are you going to do until the next 24 hours? It's about the value in terms of the value you're providing. And so they're excited and they come across, yeah, we don't have the money. Well, what's your plan to get the money? I know this is what for you. I know what you would talk. This is what you need to solve that problem you're dealing with right now. So, does anybody see that? Objection is it's expensive. Again, very similar to I don't have the money. Why do you feel it's expensive? And then they start discounting in terms of on the call. Hey, maybe it's a $5,000 program, and it's yeah, I've only got $2,000. Okay, I'll give you for $3,500, and then you're in this trade-off in terms of back and forward. That do not do that. You don't want to be discounting your service, devaluing your services, just to make a sale. You should, I think I did a video the other day about this, whereby if you're getting someone saying a discount, and you basically stand your ground. Hey, I might be able to kind of cut $100 off it. And then just stick in your zone of you're seeing the value in terms of what you're presented of your offer, but stick to your price. Once you start reducing your price by, thousands of dollars, you're devaluing yourself. So a better response is, I know, but why? Ask him again by why is it worth it? Or I know, so why are you going to do it anyway? So that's kind of really throwing it back and say, yeah, why are you going to do it anyway? I know this is for you. So what, so why are you going to do it anyway? So it gets them to think. It's the questions, again, most of your time should be asking questions, just getting them to think about, why are you going to do it anyway? I kind of hear sales is a mindset and communicate. It's all about mindset. It's all about coming into the right mindset and actually for your prospect or, future customer kind of, and get into their mindset about these are things that are going to hold them back. These objections are not serving them, and you're there to serve them. Okay. Any comments on that? Anybody get those? Good. Right. Next is sort of taking all that. Those are kind of, the main objections. So how do we put like a process around in terms of how you can actually take objections and actually move that from objection to kind of asking for the sale? So these are 6 steps to crush any objection. First is acknowledge that, acknowledge them, ask them, yeah, I understand. It's no point kind of getting into a confrontation with your prospect. Acknowledge that, dig deeper into the objection, whether it is actually objection. Isolate the objection in terms of kind of, then provide some new information that you have, but maybe that something is missing. Obviously, an objection is there's something that's not working for them. They can't make an informed decision. So providing new information. So that, and what's life like with that new information? You're providing this information that is going to get them that life-changing outcome that they want. And at that point, ask for the sale. So kind of, based on that, I still think this is a good fit for you. Everybody see that? Okay, we'll just take each one of those in turn. So one, acknowledge. So I'm going through an example here, and I agree that's a lot of money. Everybody, working with me knows, I think coaches should be compensated accordingly. So it's sort of high ticket in terms of that. So we're talking like $3,000 plus type of programs. And, that's a lot of money for people. I agree that's a lot of money. And don't get into an argument. Just say, I agree, I acknowledge that. Then build rapport and everything. I totally understand that if I'm being honest with you, I felt the same way when I started investing in myself. It was a scary prospect if this was work out for me. So what would make it worth it? So you're throwing it back. So kind of what would make it worth it? And get them to have that conversation, that internal dialogue within themselves. Make sure. So you're acknowledging it. You're not dismissing it, but you're actually throwing it back to your prospect. Ask him, so what would make it worth it? And then it gives you time to think about the second step as well. Make sense? Next. 2, dig deeper. Find out what the problem is. So again, that's right. Okay, we acknowledge at the start. Okay, it's time to see where this is going. Find out what the problem is. What specifically investing today makes you uncomfortable. So calling that. So, I'm not clear on the possible answer. I'm not clear on how your service could benefit my business. So they're not clear on it. Maybe something in your presentation hasn't worked. The source is still not clear. Okay, fine. Okay. Dig deeper. Can you explain what aspects about my coaching you feel not benefit you so I can fill in the gaps? So you're actually kind of drawing out kind of where there would be. Hospital, I just thought maybe it was just a course and there was no one-to-one support. So maybe kind of there's some wrong in the communication. They thought, I thought it was just summer course. It was not there was no support with that. Next is, and then is there anything else, you need to understand about coaching so specifically meets your needs? So we're digging deeper to get to that problem, that root problem that sort of that's holding them back. We're not dismissing it. We're asking questions to get clarity. To dig deeper and easier, the objection is to overcome. I just need to hold on my hand. So I'm not good with technical aspects. So we've gone from that not clear to the business. Actually, the real reason that I'm not technical, I feel as if, there's aspects of the service that, I need to be good at technical, and I'm not really, that's not really me. So that could be the real objection. Does everybody understand that? How powerful it is to dig deeper? It's not just like, hey, the problem is not really the problem. You're kind of digging deeper to find out what the real problem objection is to overcome. This is psychology, by the way. It's kind of like it's understanding kind of that the problem is not the real problem. You've got to have deeper to find out where that's really coming from. Next, okay, we've got the problem. Isolate the problem. Understand it's only a thing that's holding them back from moving forward. That this is the only thing. So maybe that thing they're dealing with, you say, so if I provided your tailored blueprint that showed you how you could achieve success in your coaching business and ready-made funnels, maybe the technical aspect is they don't know how to make a sales funnel. That's just plug and play. Would you be ready to move forward today? So you're actually you're taking those questions, you're making notes, you're going, yeah, I understand. Yeah, if I was to do some ready-made funnel for you, it's plug and play. Are you ready to move on today? So you're dealing with the problem, you're isolating it, and you're giving them something to think about. And that's sort of micro commitment to kind of what, that they feel as if they're being understood. Anybody, is that understand? People understand that? How powerful that is in terms of isolating that? Okay, next is new information. So we've isolated the problem. We're gonna okay with this new information in terms of kind of what they're dealing with. Tell me. So I can tell you that when you're becoming a coaching client, so you're kind of moving the conversation on. I have a step-by-step blueprint to show you how you can achieve the outcome you want. So you kind of say, well, you're still a bit unsure. Okay, when you come coaching client, I have a blueprint to achieve you. Asking you a lot of questions so I can better serve you. Maybe they're getting some resistance. You're going maybe asking a lot of questions and say, well, so always say kind of, I'm asking these questions so I can better serve you today. So that's okay. There's another one, new information, alternative truth as well. So maybe they mentioned something in the conversation. So you're telling me that you don't have time to move forward today because of your 9-to-5 job, but you tell me that you want to quit your 9-to-5 and get your time back. I get it, really stressful to juggle so many commitments, but at the start of our conversation, you said that staying in your job was not an option anymore. So what is it? So maybe they've got some conflicting, this is, the conflicting information that you're getting, and it's not the real information. So you're just clarifying kind of what are the real objectives, the real alternative truth is as well. So it's kind of your new information, but maybe there's an alternative truth playing out as well. So next is what's life like with that new information? So you need your prospect to own this information. So they kind of, if they have this piece that's keeping them back, they feel this is the thing that they can't move forward with, that they own it. You told me that coaching business has been flatlining for about a year and you don't know how to move forward. You said you need help and a mentor to show you. So maybe you're taking in, this is the new information. So what if if you had someone to take you through step-by-step blueprint that would double your income in less than 6 months, how it would affect your coaching business, in what way? So painting the picture, a future scenario of if you had this new information, whether it be funnels, whether it be that step-by-step plan that you can give them, if you took them through it, how would it feel if that was solved and you had that additional assistance, that additional support would make you could deliver more value and impact your clients? How would that make sense? So you're future pacing this again. Okay, so based on that, ask for the sale. The last part is, you've painted the picture, you've taken the new reality, you've isolated the information with new information, isolated what the problem is, well, in addition to new information, what the new information could mean for the business and future pacing. And they say, right. And then they realize their objection is not really an objection anymore because you've destroyed it. You've said, well, that's not really objection. What that objection was something that maybe was missing, and you've clarified it for them. This new information will scale your coaching business and deliver for your clients. It's a fit and makes sense. You're ready to move forward and take action today. So you want to make it action, take it on the call. Does that make sense? Rex, Nadette, Selena, Mary, Rennick. I say this takes practice. This isn't sort of, in the heat of the call, and you've got maybe different things, and you've got, you're presenting and you're getting objections. It's the sort of like the how do you sort of see that objection is actually not really an objection? How do you isolate that objection and use new information to sort of say, well, actually, if I did this, then that objection would disappear. Tracy, okay, Selena, good, thank you. Makes sense. Thanks, Nadette. So far, sales is not about selling, but you're the bridge between your customer to make the right choice. So if I go into a coaching program, you're the bridge from where they are now and where they want to be. And that's what the sales is. You're just demonstrating the value that you're bringing to get them that outcome, that result that they want. It's not about manipulation. It's not about using any sleazy sales tactics. It's about just demonstrating the pure value that you're helping your customer with. Again, we're going through the 4 types of objection, basically time, money, decision maker, trust. So, and a 6-step process to overcome any objection. Now, you use that process, you can overcome any objection. So when you're coming, kind of isolate the objection, new information, what the new information can mean for the life of that, if that was provided, and then asking for the sale. And then last is role play to get this better. Sales is a learned skill. Like I wouldn't say it's my strongest in terms of selling as sales. Sales is a learned skill. You can learn to be good at this by doing more of it. It's getting on more calls, screwing up more and more calls, but recording your calls, say, yeah, that went well, that didn't go so well. I went off topic here. That was an objection I didn't have an answer for. I was talking too much. I didn't ask enough questions. I was getting stuck in the friend zone. All of these are learning opportunities, if getting feedback on your calls. Last is most marketing coaches don't have a marketing problem, they have a sales problem. The number one skill if you're starting out is, marketing is essential. It's kind of like positioning yourself as the authority to put yourself in position to have sales opportunities. Marketing is essential. But if you're putting yourself in a position to have sales opportunities, you don't want to screw it up on the sales call because you've wasted all that time and energy, and then to fluff it on a call. You're not clear in terms of the transformation. You don't know how to handle their resistance there about what in terms of meeting them where they're at about something they're dealing with, and have some of these tools in your bag to nullify any objections that you're going to get. Yeah, you're the bridge, Murray. Yeah, you're right. Okay. So, final word. Where are we going now? 40 minutes. Most coaches have a great product or service that can change the world. This is, without doubt, everybody on this call has the capacity to change lives. There's nobody here who's coming in for the right reasons, who has, as a higher purpose to kind of change lives and make an impact, and through that impact have a profitable business. That it's not the other way around. You don't come in it for the money and then build a coaching business on it. You're coming in it for the right reasons, to serve your client at the highest level, but their inability to sell and manage objections, is impacting the lives they want to change. So you're getting on calls and you're not be able to sell. Actually asking for the sale goes back to my first slide, actually asking people to buy your services. Maybe you feel icky. A lot of people feel, I shouldn't be asking people to buy my service. Why? You can't make any impact if you're not asking people to buy your services. So you shouldn't be afraid to ask people to buy. They could say no. Yeah, no is great. I love no's. No, you will get far more no's than you'll get yeses, but no's make way for the yeses. No is not yet. No is I'm not ready yet, but I might be later on. So that's why it's very important to sort of capture people's details, kind of those touch points I talked about, that you want to follow up with people to make sure kind of, yeah, I'm still here. You're still front of mind in terms of, I know that you wanted this, but maybe when we last called, it wasn't the right time. Is it still the right time now? Do you want to get on a call? Actually, I have this new information, using that information again, that I have this new information that actually might help you. Do you want to kind of get on a call and talk about it? Or I've got, maybe money was the objection. I know this, I've got some very agreeable terms. So actually, there's this third party I know that has some very agreeable terms if you want to, afford my coaching. And you're actually helping them to make the right decision. Yeah. Guide people changing out as they invest in themselves. Yep, Mary, totally. So you're the change makers. And don't forget that. I think a lot of people kind of devalue themselves, and they get a lot of people quit the industry or the coaching. They see, I can't make this work. Kind of no one is, I'm putting out stuff and I'm getting nothing back. That's just part of the journey. That was part of my journey. But people need your services. Just truly believe that people out there that need, your services. But I say you can't impact those lives if you're not asking people to buy, to invest in themselves. And part of that invest is manage the objections that they're coming up with, which most of the time is just, they're nonsense most of the time. It's just their own internal dialogue with themselves. Okay. Any kind of any comments on that before I go? Next part. Selena, Mary, Nadette, Rex, Renee, Tracy, Talia, anything? Do you see yourselves using something like this? Have you used something like this? Has anybody used? Or maybe you haven't used, you've gone down the Y route, and then you've gone down a negative hole. Thanks, Talia. Okay. So always went down the negative. Yeah, always went down the negative hole. Yeah. Yeah, Rex. We have all done it. There's no person here who's get sales out of the gate, kind of has this natural salesman approach. No one's a Grant Cardone straight when they get on a call. So sales is something learned over time, and it's kind of that didn't work. Almost, I didn't frame the call right. I didn't get the right people on the call. So there's a multitude of things. It's all about recognizing you're a learner, and there's always room for improvement. Okay. All right. Yeah. Thanks, Selena. Okay. So I'm going to next. Well, actually, if people have read the call, anybody watching this live. So what you can do is you can do that, go figure out how to get more sales, or I can take a vested interest in your success and teach you everything done with you need to know to set up your marketing, sales, and systems to acquire customers. So basically, this is a sales part of it, a very important part of it, but there's a whole marketing and sales systems part of it as well. So this is what I can do for you, kind of. So this is my next cohort in terms of 12 weeks, kind of starts on 24th of August. So basically, this is a component of in terms of that sales part. 12 weeks coaching with me, personalized blueprint. We talked about that, in the sales thing, personalized blueprint. We go avatar niche, social media review, content events planning. We get your content plan right. So it feeds and events. You're getting more touch points with your customer. You're capturing details through your lead magnets and appointment funnels, and you're moving people, having conversations through Messenger. We look at how to have those conversations and book calls, then manage everything through a system, a CRM system, to kind of, have those touch points and then booked appointments and making offers and making sales. So again, this is sort of the marketing and sales and systems blueprint that I have. And also the dedicated community portal. So it's not a Facebook group, it's kind of people in community. I know people, Rex is in that community at the minute. And then, there'll be an accountability partner, basically, will match you up with someone who can help you through that 12 weeks. So that's basically my group coaching offer currently. So this is an offer for you guys on the call, anybody in the Facebook group. So I've been charged 30 grand to learn what I've learned now in terms of just a wee piece of it. You've got a list of it today. So none of those numbers for you. So it's 1490 AUD today or 149 per week for 2 people only on this call or anybody watching in the Facebook group. So that's the link if you want to take it down. So that is, anybody interested, DM me or or download that link and put in your details. So say sales will be an important part of that, in terms of how you present something like this on your own call, your own services. So that's only for 2 people. So what does this mean in terms of getting that getting that for your own coaching? So basically I stack it with so much value, free bonuses, access to the #1 messenger. Because we have all these conversations, managing all those conversations, you need a blueprint, something that's going to manage that all for you. So I have this software that's kind of, whereby you're tracking people who are ready to take the next step. So you're focused on people that actually are going to buy your services. So I'm giving away this completely free as part of my services. Next is a link shortener tool. Now, you're going to have like branded links for your services. This tool actually uses it like a Zoom link, and you can brand that around your own services. So also it uses landing pages. You can have like one link that'll have actually all of your social media links on it. So it does a multitude of things, as well as tracking all of the contact points and people downloading that as well. So a huge value in terms of a link shortener tool, but it does actually much more than that. Second, which is worth the price on its own, is a CRM tool. Now, anybody knows me, I manage everything from one place, of all the leads, capture websites, all the funnels we talked about. These are all in one place. So as I say, when you're doing sales and people, you're getting rejections, you're not losing those people because they're all in one place. You're nurturing those people. You're capturing those details to have further conversations. So this is a CRM tool to manage all that for you. And then lastly is me. Not blowing my own trumpet, but I, accountability together. I know people are on the call who've had my experience or going through my program I've worked with. They say this is not cookie cutter program. I'm there every week giving value and helping my clients get the right result. I'm not sort of guru types, and the guy you're dealing with is actually not the real guy you're dealing with. So what you're dealing with is me on it, deliver my best game every week. So that is some of the stuff you will get. And lastly, just speed of results. Everybody talks, I need, unrealistic expectations. Again, that's a kind of managing expectations, both in terms of you and your and a potential client you're dealing with. You've designed the program to easily understood as possible because I know what stops most people from seeing it takes too long to see results. So they kind of say, yeah, I need to, you invest, you want to see that return on investment. But, can you get results quick as possible? Yeah, it's impossible. If you've got a coaching program, maybe there's some things are just not working and they work very quickly. But what matters is I'm going to show you how to book qualified appointments, and whether you get one in a week or 3 months. You look back in 5 years from now, it really matter. Basically, we're building a whole system whereby you can have confidence that the inputs you put in, you will get the outputs at the other end. With all of these tools I showed you, and with the process that I have. So if you want overnight success, it's not for you, this program. If you want lasting lifetime results, this is for you. So that's my pitch for you guys. If anybody's interested, DM me in the chat, or DM me on the Facebook group. But I'll leave you with this. I always like Dale Carnegie. One of the first books I ever read, I think it was How to Win and Influence People, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Most of the important things in the world have been accomplished by people who have kept on trying when there seemed to be no hope at all. So 95% of coaches quit or don't make it, which is a horrendous statistic. But the ones that do, go through that valley of despair that I call it, and then get onto that upward trajectory after a while. They find something that's working. They find people that they resonate, find people that they have that the solution resonates with them, that they can, they can see the value provided. That's when you kind of see, yeah, this actually does work. But you have to go through that period of trying and failing to get to that point. But I thought Dale hit it in the head in terms of this quote. Okay, guys, that's about it. Any final thoughts on any of that, what I've showed you? I hope you got value from it. Hope you kind of, that I wasn't wasting my time. But objection handling is, if you're not handling objections, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. If you're just sort of, hey, someone says I don't have the money, and you just say that's okay, and then it's just you're making them uncomfortable. You're on a sales call. By definition, people are in a change. They have to change from the status quo. They put up their hand and they want change. You're going to get objections. It's how you handle those objections that's kind of turning it on to themselves and asking questions that's going to turn that internal dialogue into one. Yeah, this is not going to work for me. Yeah, this might work for me. Okay. All right. Anybody? Thanks, Mary. Thanks, Selena. Thanks, Rex. Thanks, Nadette. Very deal, Selena. Yeah. Talia, thank you. All right. So thank you everyone for being on the call. I appreciate your time. I always appreciate people giving up their time to kind of listen to me. So I hope people got value from it, and hope to see you in another webinar. Let's say I run these regularly every 2 weeks, challenges and whatever. Just giving value. The best way you can get clients is give value. Demonstrate your value. Don't hold back. Don't ever hold back on anything. It's always from that. Okay. Have a great day. Have a great evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. I know you're early start, but thanks a lot, everyone. Appreciate your time.